The mind of Thoth only awakens in those who are ready to break through their own illusion, and almost no one is. Most people keep calling it confusion, when in truth, it's a calling. You feel like something's off, but you can't explain why. You start to forget who you were, what you wanted, and why you did the things you did. Nothing satisfies you the way it used to. No answer feels complete. It's as if everything around you is vibrating on a frequency you can no longer reach. But the problem isn't the world. It's that your mind is being reprogrammed by something older than any modern truth. Maybe you're starting to remember what you came here to forget. Because when the mind of Thoth awakens, it silences the ego and reveals everything that was just noise. You start to see patterns where you once saw routine. You begin to question the certainties that held your life together for years. And at the same time, you feel a strange sense of familiarity with this chaos. As if something deep within you always knew this moment would come. This video won't teach you something new. It will reveal something ancient, something that has always been coded into your consciousness. There is an intelligence behind your restlessness, a frequency that vibrates beyond time. And if you're feeling it, it means it has already begun to awaken within you. Today, you're going to discover the 7 signs that the mind of Thoth is in the process of activating within your field. And you'll begin to understand why everything is changing, even if you don't yet have the words for it. But be aware, once these signs are recognized, nothing will ever be the same, because remembering is the first step to stop merely living and start co-creating. Thoth is not just a deity with the head of an ibis carved on ancient walls. He is the living symbol of cosmic intelligence, the silent force that holds the mysteries of time, language, and consciousness. In every era of transition, his mind begins to awaken in those who came here to remember. And it doesn't happen by chance. It activates quietly in dreams, in synchronicities, in the inner shifts no one else can see. But those who carry the mind of Thoth did not come here to follow. They came to rearrange, to keep the language of the all alive. The ancient wisdom of the initiates said, "The universe is not a place, it is a mind." And when that mind begins to awaken inside you, everything changes. Your thoughts become frequencies. Your feelings begin to shape the field. And your reality starts to respond to what you emit, not to what you say. That's what this video is going to show you. The 7 signs are not symbolic. They are real, vibrational, and recognizable. They show that your consciousness is collapsing the old programming, and that a new way of perceiving is taking root. You will learn how to identify each symptom and what it reveals about your mission. You will understand why crises are not accidents, but portals, and how to turn these signs into applied spiritual power. This journey doesn't ask for blind faith, nor the worship of forgotten idols. It asks for presence. Thoth doesn't awaken in those who believe. He awakens in those who observe, in those who decode, in those who already feel they no longer belong to the ordinary structure. In this video, you won't just watch. You'll recognize yourself, because when the mind of Thoth awakens in someone, the outside world loses its grip, and the soul finally remembers why it came into this life. Long before organized religions, modern labs, and schools of philosophy, there was a code. It wasn't written with ink, but with vibration. It was passed from initiate to initiate, not through doctrine, but through direct perception. This code was found in the emerald tablets attributed to Thoth, also known as Hermes Trismegistus, the thrice great. He was called that for mastering 3 great domains of existence: magic, science, and metaphysics. To the ancient Egyptians, Thoth wasn't just the god of writing. He was the mediator between worlds, the consciousness that records the movement of the soul through time and beyond. According to Hermetic tradition, Thoth encoded the universal principles that govern creation. Among them, the most important, the all is mind. This short, enigmatic phrase holds the heart of all Hermetic philosophy. It affirms that everything that exists, matter, energy, time, and space, is the product of a cosmic mind, and everything we perceive is shaped by the structure of our consciousness, not as a metaphor, but as the actual mechanics of reality. The Kabbalion, a modern compilation of the teachings of Hermes, reinforces this idea. It describes vibration as the foundation of all manifestation, and that whoever masters the mind masters the field. That's why, when the mind of Thoth awakens, the person starts to perceive beyond the surface. They feel that the symbols around them carry hidden messages, that time no longer moves the way it used to, and that words carry a real vibrational weight. This worldview completely transforms the way we relate to reality, because we're not here just to live. We're here to decode. And every internal symptom that emerges is in fact an echo of buried wisdom, returning not to be studied, but to be lived. Thoth, then, is not a figure of the past. He is the living intelligence that dwells within those who remember. And when it awakens, nothing that once made sense remains untouched. For centuries, ancient knowledge was treated as myth, useful only as metaphor. But in recent years, science has begun to uncover unexpected evidence that the ancients may have known more than we imagined. One example of this comes from neuroscience. Research in neuroplasticity has revealed that the brain is deeply moldable. It responds to mental images, emotions, beliefs, and even intention exactly as the ancient Hermetists taught. What you think, feel, and believe literally changes the structure of your brain, and in turn, it changes how you perceive and interact with the world. This confirms the principle that reality is shaped by the mind and not the other way around. Studies by Joe Dispenza and other researchers show that intentional thoughts create coherent patterns in the electromagnetic field of the heart and brain. These patterns, in turn, influence the field around the body, now referred to by some as the biophotonic field. It's the same concept that the initiates once described as the auric field or the subtle field. In addition, discoveries in quantum physics, such as the observer effect, show that consciousness directly influences the behavior of particles. In other words, what we observe changes depending on the state we are in. This is the scientific foundation of the principle that all is mind, and it is also the doorway to understanding what happens when the mind of Thoth awakens. Your consciousness begins to operate in a different kind of language, symbolic, energetic, and multidimensional. And in this new field, everything that vibrates out of harmony begins to dissolve. The awakening of the mind of Thoth doesn't happen all at once. It unfolds in layers, like codes being deciphered in sequence. These codes are not theoretical, they are vibrational. They shift your perception, your behavior, and above all, your field. Next, you'll recognize the first two signs of this awakening and understand how to activate your consciousness through them. Sign number 1, existential restlessness. You feel like something is out of place, but you can't explain what it is. It's as if everything that once made sense has lost its color. This is not depression, it's deep programming. It's your mind detaching from the collective script. This sign appears when your vibrational field starts rejecting external noise. The micro-action here is conscious silence. Practice 7 minutes a day of total non-reaction, just internal observation. This time activates the deep listening channel, the same one used by the initiates to access the symbolic field. Sign number 2. Heightened psychic sensitivity. Intense dreams, chills for no reason. Déjà vu, intuitive readings of people or places. You're picking up frequencies that were once beyond your reach. Your field has expanded, and your inner senses have been recalibrated. This is not the time to rationalize. It's the time to write everything down. Keep a vibrational journal. Record everything you feel, dream, or notice, even if it seems illogical. The mind of Thoth speaks through symbols, not explanations, and it only recognizes as real what you honor with your attention. With the first signs activated, reality begins to reorganize around the new frequency. But that also brings discomfort. The mind of Thoth doesn't reveal only the sacred, it also exposes distortions. The next 3 signs show how this intelligence operates through language, time, and symbols. Sign number 3. Disconnection from linear time. You feel like days are too short or far too long. Distorted time perception, lapses, recurring events. It's your consciousness detaching from the artificial count of time. Thoth is the master of spiral time, where past, present, and future coexist. The micro-action here is the observer's moment. Choose one moment in your day and observe it as if it were eternal. This practice dissolves anxiety and reconnects you to sacred time. Sign number 4. Linguistic awareness. Words carry weight. Common phrases begin to sound aggressive or hollow. You notice the vibration behind what is said, and also what isn't. This marks the beginning of the hermetic language activating within you. The micro-action is conscious, verbal silence. For 24 hours, monitor every word you speak. Replace mechanical terms with intentional expressions. Your speech is a neuroquantum command, and every spoken frequency enters the body as an energetic instruction. Sign number 5. Spontaneous, symbolic thinking. You begin to understand symbols without ever having studied them. You dream of archetypal figures. You notice repeating numbers or recurring images in daily life. This is the mind of Thoth activating the hidden dictionary of the soul. The micro-action is to create a symbolic altar. Choose 3 elements that appeared in a dream or through synchronicity and place them intentionally in a space in your home. This altar vibrates as an energetic anchor point so your field can recognize the process taking place. With the previous codes already in motion, your consciousness enters the most delicate phase of awakening, the collapse of the old self. This stage scares many, but it is essential. The mind of Thoth can only fully settle when there is vibrational space for it to operate. Sign number 6. Psycho-spiritual crises. You might feel like you're losing control. Anxiety, emotional exhaustion, a sense of emptiness or disconnection from everything and everyone. But this isn't collapse, it's release. It's the body purging data that no longer matches the new frequency. The key here is not to resist. The micro-action is the dissolution breath. Inhale deeply for 4 counts, hold for 4, and exhale for 8. Repeat for 9 minutes during moments of turbulence. This breathing cycle dissolves energetic buildup and allows the reconfiguration to continue. Sign number 7. The call to teach or guide in silence. You feel the urge to share what you've learned, but not with arrogance. It's as if your very presence needs to hold something, even without words. This is the most subtle and most powerful sign. The mind of Thoth transforms you into a field of guidance. You become a portal. The micro-action is the ritual of invisible presence. Go to a public place and, for 15 minutes, hold your internal state at a high frequency without saying a word. Observe how your vibration begins to impact the environment around you. This is the beginning of the silent mission of the bearers of the sacred mind. Now that you've recognized the 7 signs, everything will start to move more quickly. The activation has already begun, and the world around you will start to notice. For a long time, Selim thought something was wrong with him. While everyone else seemed to know what to do, he just felt empty. It wasn't sadness, and it wasn't fear. It was as if a part of the map everyone else used was missing for him alone. At work, he was seen as distracted. In relationships, as distant. But inside, what Selim carried was an excess of perception. He could tell when someone was lying, even while smiling. He could feel when the room grew heavy, even with music and lights on. And no matter how hard he tried to fit in, an invisible force kept pulling him out of the routine. He started waking up at 3 in the morning for no reason. Had dreams filled with geometry, unknown languages, and eyes that watched him from within himself. Reality began to glitch. He'd lose track of time, see repeated events, hear phrases that felt like answers to questions he had never spoken aloud. At first, he thought he was losing his mind. But one day he stumbled upon an old text, a hermetic fragment that spoke of Thoth. He felt something in his chest, like a signal, and in that moment, everything clicked. Every symptom made sense. Every disconnection from the ordinary world was, in truth, a reconnection to his origin. Selim didn't need a diagnosis. He needed a name for what he had always known. Today, he doesn't introduce himself as a master. He doesn't teach with words. He holds presence, and that presence transforms the spaces he enters. He didn't change who he was. He simply accepted what had always been there. Because when the mind of Thoth awakens, the outside world no longer holds control. It's the invisible that begins to shape reality, and some are here precisely for that. The greatest challenge for those going through this awakening is believing they're alone, or worse, thinking they're going crazy. When the signs begin to appear, vivid dreams, distortions in time, heightened sensitivity, it's common to try going back to conventional logic, to force yourself to function as before, but that only creates conflict, because the old mind wasn't made to decode the new codes. The mistake is trying to explain with words what can only be understood through frequency. The result, anxiety, isolation, a deep feeling of not belonging. The way forward isn't in trying to understand everything, but in allowing yourself to feel. The mind of Thoth operates through symbolic vibration. It first manifests in the subtle body and only then takes form. That's why the solution is simple, yet powerful, vibrational anchoring. Create a daily 5-minute ritual to align with the field's frequency. Silence, breath, a symbol that represents your connection, and a single thought: I am not breaking, I am awakening. Repeat this until your field recognizes it as truth. This phrase is more than comfort, it's a vibrational command, because the chaos you feel is not a mistake. It's ancient intelligence reorganizing everything you no longer need to carry. If you've come this far, it's because something within you recognized the calling. The 7 signs are not just inner coincidences. They are precise codes, activated in souls ready to step out of the loop. The mind of Thoth is not a mystical fantasy. It is a real vibrational architecture that manifests in those who came to sustain the invisible. It doesn't rely on belief or on external rituals. It manifests in those willing to let go of old molds, even without knowing what will come next. You've learned that discomfort is a sign of alignment, that confusion is often clarity in the making, and that every symbolic fragment of your daily life can be a portal if you are present. Hermetic wisdom teaches that everything real begins in the mind. So when your mind reconnects with this higher matrix, everything around you must change. Words gain weight, silence reveals direction, and time bends to what you vibrate. This video didn't bring theories, it brought reminders, because what you need, you already have. It was simply dormant. As Plotinus once wrote, turn inward. The truth resides in the inner man. The mind of Thoth doesn't descend from above. It rises from within. And when it awakens, you don't become something new. You remember what you've always been, bearer of an ancient language, keeper of a vibration that spans millennia, silent co-creator of a new reality. Your calling is not to shine, it's to align. And when you align, the universe responds. Behavior shifts, vibration shifts, reality shifts. It all begins with what you choose to hold within. The journey doesn't end here, it's only beginning within you. If this video sparked something inside you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. It helps keep this frequency alive and brings this wisdom to others who also need to remember. Comment below the mantra phrase, "The mind of Thoth lives in me." That way we'll know who already carries the code and is ready to sustain the invisible. Share this with someone who feels something stirring, but doesn't yet understand what is being born within. Click on the screen to watch another video that can expand your consciousness even further. Each symbol accessed is a key, and the more you access, the more the old self dissolves, making room for who you've always been, but never knew how to name.